Hello and welcome. I sure do hope you guys can hear this because I don't think you can. Can you hear this? Okay, someone's okay. So I can't hear. I don't think they can hear me. What
What
about
about
now?
now?
Can
Can
y'all
y'all
hear
hear
me
me
now?
now?
It's saying
Saying
no
no
sound.
sound.
Let's
Let's
see.
see.
Matthew's
Matthew's
on.
on.
Let's see.
Let's see.
That's
That's
probably
probably
because
because
I've
I've
messed up
messed up
somewhere.
somewhere.
Okay, now
Okay,
it's
now it's
two
two
mics.
mics.
Oh
Oh
wow!
wow!
Hey,
Hey,
I
I
made
made
it
it
better.
better.
So
So
okay,
okay,
I'm not
I'm not
sure
sure
why
why
there
there
are
are
two
two
microphones.
microphones.
That's
That's
something
something
special.
special.
I
I
did
did
just for
just for
y'all.
y'all.
Uh,
Uh,
okay,
okay,
so
so okay, so the I, I would love to do that. I would. And that's like the weird thing is I don't have a built-in mic enabled. So it's kind of weird that okay, so y'all tell me by the way the point at which it starts sounding right because right now I don't know. So maybe I got rid of the second mic right there. Okay. Progress. Thank you. So let us okay. Let let's see if I can fix that. Let me add a new audio input and add in. Yeah, no one wants that. So it's mm, oh what have I done? So here's the interesting thing. I can hear you. Um, I sound good, but Professor is still muted. So hey guys, while I try to figure this out, let me tell y'all what's been going on. So I have my computer broke rather disastrously, like blue screen of death. I thought I got it back at one point, like I had to lower down the timings by a lot of my memory, and it seemed like all of a sudden it was working. So yay, progress. And then it died even harder. Like that was it. Would not turn on anymore. All my data is lost. I had years worth of videos that I was never going to produce, but at least sat there in the hopes that one day I would produce them. All gone. They're all gone. Uh, Now it's saying that my Jeff source is inactive, which seems seems like a lie to me. Yeah, I can hear you, and it it claims I've selected you, but well, Nancy. Okay, so I'm outputting you. Go ahead and talk a little bit, Jeff. Yeah. Okay. Omni's saying just use sign language. Um, can I do maybe? Yeah. It. I've had it for a while. It really shouldn't have died the way it did. Uh, yeah, 5950. It was a top of the line CPU several years back. Um, let's see if I do this. I don't know. Does that work now, Jeff? It's it's definitely interesting to me. Still no. It's definitely interesting to me that it is solidly not working. True. What if I cheat a little bit? We all know how I love to
Uh-oh.
cheat.
Oh, I heard myself.
Oh.
For a split second, I heard myself and then it stopped.
Okay, yeah, now they got them. Can you still hear yourself, though?
I cannot hear myself. Well, I can hear myself, but not through my headset. Does that make sense? I can hear myself talking, but not through here.
Okay.
Is it working? Can you hear me? Positive Condor says, on the air. There we go, says Bradley. We got audio. Live for both, says K. Roberts.
Clearly, I don't know what I'm doing.
They're saying yes. It's working.
That's where this conversation's going. Clearly, I don't know what I'm doing. Because...
Who are you people, says Thomas.
I've added you in.
What do you want, Thomas?
Never ask that question.
Ah, you remembered. Very good.
Yeah, it's up there. Rattling around.
Matt's as white as a ghost, says Amy.
Yeah.
Hello, Amy. It's been a long time. Hope you're doing well.
So you know what? We're gonna roll with this, everyone. I will try so hard to find time this week to maybe improve this a little bit for next week. But yeah, so my computer just straight up died. Gave up the ghost. Come 4th of July, hopefully there's some good combo deals at the Micro Center near-ish. You know, I say it's near me, it's like an hour drive. But hopefully there's some good deals and I can get a motherboard and CPU combo and replace what I got and things will start working again. And once that happens, we can stop kind of limping along right now because I am using a 7-year-old laptop at this point. And thankfully it's a beefy laptop for the time that I bought it. But it is older. I have daisy chained USB hubs to get everything I need.
Well, if it works.
Yeah, I have a tiny, like, you can't even I can't raise it up enough. You probably can't see it. Let me get my ghost white face behind it. That is my microphone cable.
I can't hear you now. I can't hear you. Yeah, shouldn't have played with it. Ah! Nope, you're gone. You're gone. Amy's laughing. No! Well, it's the professor's show. Oh, I heard a Windows sound effect. Nope. Oh, I hear myself now. Oh, this. You're right, Amy. This is classic. So classic, Matthew. Don't you just love it? Well, with his cabling, I'll just tell you all that not quite 2 weeks ago, I got into a car accident. So, no. Yeah, Matthew, I was in a car accident. Got rear-ended. Thankfully, it was a slow impact. No injuries, just the car got dented up, the back bumper, the trunk door. And they're supposed to pick it up until right now. Thankfully, I finally got a rental yesterday. And Matthew, you're still no-go on the audio. Oh, no. Thank you, Amy. I appreciate it. And yeah, I don't know what Matthew is doing. He's just kind of leaning back in his chair, it looks like, and he's just frustrated, I guess. I'm sorry, Matthew. On the nose, huh? Okay. Oh, dear. And you shouldn't have fiddled with it. Type, Matt, says Amy. Type. Matthew is the fool we think he is, says Thomas. Do not admit defeat, Matthew. Says.
The audio engine. Hello, hello.
Oh! I hear you.
Okay. Don't touch anything.
Hands off. Hands off.
Okay. So as I was mentioning, this is a band-aided together system. I will try and get that working better. So, I mean, the way this is working, without touching it, the way this is working is it's going from my usual microphone into a random cable I found lying around, because my regular one goes through the wall to my real computer, and into a microphone and headphone combiner into my docking station, into my USB-C port, my Thunderbolt port. So I mean, it is daisy chained down the line here. So
wow.
maybe I can at least like get this plugged in directly to my computer. It wasn't working directly into my laptop. I don't know. Yes, bear skins and stone knives.
Right, Josh? My audio will probably go out again.
Hey, I don't even know if we're going to successfully get the video going when I transition in a minute. Oh, the video. Hey, you guys know what I forgot to do? You
forgot to upload the video.
No, so it's uploaded. It's been uploaded for a long time, thankfully. But I forgot to drop it in our streaming room. So let's see. Do I even remember the site that I used to do this from? Yes, I do.
I got you covered though.
Let's see.
I just put the link in the chat.
Logging in. Logging in.
Team blue or red, says Josh. I'm not sure. I understand the reference.
Oh, Team blue is Intel and Team red is AMD.
Ah, okay. So he had Team red and his computer failed. I don't know what your laptop is. I'm going to guess blue.
You know, you're right. It's blue. Abadi abadai.
All three of my computers right now are Team blue.
Okay.
13 watching, 4 likes. Must be a bunch of drowsy purple out there, says K. Roberts. You could be right about that. Yeah. Also, got a new shirt.
Oh, nice. Where'd you get it?
What's that?
Where'd you get it?
Is it T Public? T Nation? T Public? I forget what the name of the site is. That T-shirt site. Omni says, nice shirt. Thank you.
Did you custom make it?
No. Thomas says, I'm a nerd.
Okay. There we are. Logged into the site.
Okay. Positive step.
It is. And hey guys, thanks for putting up with this for the record. It is.
We love you, Matthew. That's why we come here, and we expect these kinds of things to happen. So,
well, I am glad that I can be so consistent in my abilities.
Anna says a very attractive nerd.
Anna, please.
Referring to
Jeff,
me.
Jeff. Okay, yes, that makes more sense. Okay, so
hey, we got video.
We do, and here's going to be the real question: am I going to get audio on the YouTube stream?
A distinct possibility. We'll see.
Now, Tom's saying he did hear sound. I was going to say, frankly, if I can get sound from...
Omni says we heard a bit of it.
From this, but I couldn't get sound from my own microphone, I am going to be mildly perturbed. So who would have been causing that sound to happen? It is coming through on yours? What?
Mine?
I am mildly perturbed.
Oh boy.
Perturbed, I tell you. I might
Omni,
even go
you're
so
going to have to tell us
far-
which wires to cut.
Yeah, I might even go so far as to say I am somewhat wroth.
Ooh.
But
Getting
we'll
fancy
fix
with those words there.
We'll fix. Well, that just goes to show how annoyed I am right now.
Omni says, cut the right ones as opposed to the left ones.
Okay, so if I choose Pikachu, if I choose this over here, I think.
Hey, Mercer, welcome.
Okay. No one hears any sound now, right? No sound?
I can hear through the side tube, but I don't know about YouTube.
Okay.
Omni says no.
Yay! Okay, hey guys, guess what? We have sound where I'm supposed to have sound, and no sound where I'm not supposed to have sound. Now, I still look like a ghost, unfortunately. So, mixed bag.
Well, we took positive steps tonight.
If Positive Candor is here, I'm going to blame him for us having anything positive at all. Now you hear some static. Well, you know what?
Yeah, there's probably a little static coming from your
From my
connection. Your hobbled together,
Hey, making
daisy
engines
chained
work was easy.
USB.
Reading Klingon, that was what was hard. I honestly, I had a trial just getting my video to show up over for Jeff. And I don't have my thing mirrored, so now I'm pointing the wrong way from my perspective. It's okay. Serenity now. Serenity now.
Don't touch anything.
Yeah. Don't touch anything. It's all... It's fine. It's fine. And let's see, if I did a color correction on my face, can I... Oh, no, wrong way. Nope, that's... no. Oh, goodness, no. Hey, look.
Well, you look like you have a sunburn. And you're... Oh.
Now it really goes,
Help me.
Oh, guys, it's one of those days. Yeah, that's an Oompa Loompa. Hey, so I actually saw an interesting thing that apparently CNN colorizes its video of Trump to make him look super orange. Like if you look at all the other media sites, he looks very, he's always going to be a little orange. He's Trump. But they oversaturate him and only him on CNN. Super interesting.
Wow.
Really random. You know what? That's
a little better.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure. You know what?
It's a little better, yeah.
I'll roll with it. There's something I'm forgetting. There's basically no difference. You know what? We're just gonna roll with it. Yeah, I was hit by a 60s laser effect. That is exactly what happened there. So thanks.
Now we can hear your Windows desktop sounds. Just so you know. So don't play any of those. Welcome, Texas. Texas and the shock.
I'm just an IT guy. I don't know how any of this works. Better hope my boss never sees these videos like, oh, I thought Matt was smart, but apparently he's as dumb as a sack of bricks.
Well, no. No, actually, you are very smart.
Well, thank you. Not tonight.
I sincerely say that. You do some things that just, I don't know how you do them. I
poorly tonight, but thank you.
Well, you put out the home automation video, and that was well beyond my thinking process.
Oh, that was a fun one to do too.
Thomas says, just tonight?
Oh, ha 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 ha. Yeah, smart like the Packlets. We are smart. Do I like pretty boxes? I'm not sure if I get the reference there, Texas.
Pretty boxes.
I mean, everyone likes pretty stuff, right?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what he's getting at.
I'm willing to bet this is an IT thing, and it's an IT thing that I don't know of, which I love that. Or is this a Packlet quote? Did the Packlet say we like pretty boxes?
JMS called this episode a pretty box.
Oh.
Oh, did he? I did not know that. I did not run across that in my my study of this episode.
Now here's an interesting question, Jeff. By any chance, do you know what I predicted for tonight?
Well, yeah, I did type it out, in fact. So you thought this would be an episode that would focus on Lanier, because it would make sense for Malari or Jakar to be involved in this, but their stories have been told, you thought. And so this may be involved with Lanier dealing with or struggling with a personal loss, the death of a friend or a lover. It would be poignant if this death was caused by Centauri action, and how it would strain his relationship with Londo. Wow. And you didn't have much else to say about that. You didn't know what else to come up with. So
yeah, I still honestly don't. Dust to dust, like it has such a finality sound to it, obviously. So I do look forward to seeing what we get from it. And I was trying to maybe, hey, there's
that's pretty good.
It's better. That looks somewhat like my real face.
Yeah.
It all comes back. It all comes back.
Texas, I must have missed that, or I forgot about it, because it's been, what, 5 weeks?
It's been something incredibly immense, and I apologize for that, guys. And yeah, we're starting late, and
we always start late, Mercer. It's Matthew time.
and dealing with the IT stuff. So thank you for dealing with that, or waiting for that. So you got hit by a car, by the way. You were telling me this when I had no microphone. So
yes,
what happened there?
Well, I was driving home from work and had a long day, and I stopped and got some food and left there, and was about halfway home from there. And I looked down my dash at my speed. I was actually going a little under the speed limit, looked back up, and suddenly the cars in front of me were stopping very fast, very quickly, despite a green light up ahead. So I slammed on my brakes, stopped just in time, and about 2-3 seconds later, the car behind me hit me. About, I'd say, between 5 and 10 miles an hour.
Okay.
Back bumper got dented up pretty good. Car was still drivable. We both drove off to a side street, because I was coming up on an intersection I was going to turn at. But we turned off and stopped, and I called the police. We exchanged information. So, yeah, neither of us got injured. Her car was barely damaged at all. Mine had a little bit more damage than hers, but. And I finally got a rental car yesterday. It's taken almost, about 12 days.
Wow.
Get one. Yeah. And they're supposed to pick up my car tomorrow for repair.
Okay. So
no one got cited. No one got cited because, I'm sorry?
Hopefully just some fender damage, some bumper damage.
Yeah, the trunk door doesn't want to close either all the way. It says it's ajar or open a little bit. And I would say, no, it's a trunk door. It's not a jar. But yeah, I couldn't get the trunk to completely close. The light would keep coming on. No, not Jar Jar on me.
Yes, Omni, we do have speed limits in Texas. In fact, I mean, as long as you stay out of, let's say, Houston and Austin, Dallas, people tend to drive all right in Texas. I mean, as all right as anywhere else in the area.
Yeah, speed limit was 45. I was doing about 42 at the time. It was rush hour. It was right about 6 o'clock at night or in the evening.
I was actually going to say, and Highway 45. That's the highway that takes us down to UT Austin, Sam Houston. It's all the college kids. Every weekend they drive up 45 toward Waco and Dallas, and they're not good. They're not good drivers.
Thomas says New Jersey drivers are the worst. I wonder why you would say that, Thomas. Would you know, Omni, why Thomas might say that?
Is he more of a New York guy? I mean,
well,
not a fan of the New Jersey.
I think he did live in New York, but I believe he's in New Jersey now. But you see, Thomas is fixated for some reason on Omni. It's just an obsession.
Hey, Shy, are you still here by any chance? I asked.
Hashtag fixated.
Because, right, so we had our youth camp this past week, and we lost no kids. It was
hey.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm impressed.
I just gotta say, like, I'm super proud of my youth group. I don't see your response. Oh yeah, so I can say this. I'm super proud of my youth group. They were immensely respectful. They had good attitudes. They're, every year we have to deal with some cheating kids. And our kids, they had good attitudes. They obeyed the rules. No one tried to sneak off by themselves. We just have a tremendously good youth group. And I'm very glad, very thankful for them. But right after we get back from camp, I got a round of several new subscriptions, which I find a little suspicious, as if maybe someone blabbed that a youth leader had a YouTube channel. And so I'm a little curious about that. Yeah, one escape pod jettison, but we picked them up later. So Thomas,
did you find any secret plans?
We did.
You did? Okay. Wow.
On the second to last night, fireworks were set off.
Oh.
Not by anyone in our youth group, but a student did sneak off. And when I say fireworks were set off, I mean someone spent at least $400 to buy professional grade fireworks and shoot them off. Like the row of like 9 tubes, big fireworks. And he confessed to me what he'd done. So it was very interesting. Very interesting. Can I speak bokeh? No, I cannot.
Bocce.
Oh, no, I cannot.
Can you speak bocce?
So it was interesting.
That's a Star Wars quote, by the way, if you didn't know.
Yeah, from Uncle Owen. Well, of course.
Yeah.
But I've never seen it spelled.
Thomas.
So it was interesting because, like, at first we're like, oh wow, that's really interesting. They're shooting off fireworks, and then like all of a sudden the camp lead guy's running around very upset, and we're like, ooh, this was not planned. This was someone pulling a prank, and it further turned out that there's a burn ban in the area.
Uh-oh.
And he was doing this to celebrate his 18th birthday.
Oh.
Which means he could have been tried as an adult should authorities be called.
Yeah.
So, and not only that, but it went against the camp rules. No explosives. Now, unfortunately, he got off scot-free. Because he confessed to it basically the night before we went home anyway. So they're like, well, there's nothing we can really do. He's a senior, so he can't come back anyway. It's the night before, so it's not like we can send him home early. The kid got away with it. I mean, some reprimand from his youth pastor, but he didn't seem overly concerned. But yeah, so secret plans were indeed found. So, what do you say? We see. Oh, no, you already told me my prediction, and I've already forgotten. But linear.
Yes. Focus on linear, some loss.
So, what do you say? Yeah, he was gently rebuked by the pastor. What do you say we get this going? Yeah. So let me give my spiel. It's been 5 weeks. Guys, thank you for joining us. We're going to go ahead and get this started. And the way it works is if you are here and can do so, by all means, come join us in the streaming room, which I will pin. There we go. Because Jeff was so kind as to share that, so let me go ahead and pin that. So click on that link and it will bring you to the streaming room. This link is only active right now during the stream. And what it will do is it will sync up all of our watch times so that we can watch this together within a second or two of each other. If you're here in the future, thanks for joining us. I'll try and remember to put in some chapters so you don't have to deal with everything I just fought through, technology-wise. But you can't watch it. Sorry, you can't use my stuff. The point of these streams isn't for you to be able to bypass the actual copyright holders. It's just for us to sync up all our watch times and get to talk about it and have a good time. For you, you will need to have your own copy of this. And you can do this by, if you have Amazon Prime, I'm pretty sure, it's been 5 weeks, so I don't know, but I'm pretty sure this is still included with Amazon Prime, with no commercials. You can go to Roku, I believe.
Ooh, yes, you got it.
Tubi, I'm pretty sure still has it.
Tubi still has it, yes.
And
I
you
can
confirm
that.
For free with commercials. But as absolute always, my highest recommendation is just go and buy the physical copies, which is what Jeff has, and they're amazing. It's the Blu-ray version of it. And you know what? The best thing about a physical copy, it never gets taken away from you. You never have to worry about your internet being down. You never have to worry about streaming services being down. You just got it. I can't recommend it enough.
$74.79 on Amazon.
That's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
And Thomas is saying echoes. I do apologize about it. I'm trying.
Oh, my audio is doubled. They're saying.
Oh, it's working. It's working. It's echoes on you. Okay, say something, Jeff.
Well, I was supposed to be echoing? I don't know. Why should I be echoing? I shouldn't be echoing. It's not my fault.
No, it's a good thing you're echoing because it means that my audio actually started working. So I was sending you to both mine and your audio streams. Just for some OBS decided, you know what? We like this now. We'll let Jeff have his own audio. So hey, thanks everyone.
Okay. Thomas says, "Wow, Matthew's trying to sabotage Jeff's audio."
Yeah. Hey, if my audio can't work, no one can.
It's wired like a Christmas tree, says Omni.
Yeah, exactly.
It's always Athros's fault.
If you can't join us in the screening room, you don't have your own stuff, you just want to be here on this stream and enjoy me fumbling around this whole time, hey, we got you covered too. Once every... gotta point different directions now. This is horrible. Down there, yes.
Right over here. Right over here.
Once... There we go. I can do this. Once every 7 to 9 seconds, I grab only a still image just so you have a reference for what's going on there. If you hear sound, please let me know so I can fix the audio issues. I do not want all the Babylon 5 episode sound coming through here. That will make people mad, and I don't want to make people mad. I like doing this with y'all, and I want to keep being able to do this. So let me know, and we'll get that stopped. I'd like to say I'm pretty confident that won't happen, but boy, I have zero confidence. So I'm going to give everyone in the future who wants to sync up their own watch time a quick 3 countdown, and we're going to Akbar this. So 3, 2, 1, hit that play button, everyone. Okay, so hopefully there's no audio. And it's been a while, so you may recall that what's been going on is the growing unrest from the Black Armband people. Night Watch.
Night Watch.
Okay, buckle in, guys. There's gonna be like zero knowledge of names up here, okay? And the Night Watch people are looking for anything whatsoever that goes against the current political power and are snapping down on it hard. And so the Night Watch individual here on the left is coming down on the shop owner for he put out an opinion, I believe, that the current president assassinated the old one, which we know to be true. As third-person omniscient viewers of this universe, we know this is true. And honestly, also, Starkiller over there knows that it's true.
Sheridan,
thank you. But as far as the Night Watch is concerned, this is seditious behavior.
Oh, this is good. This is good.
It's Buster!
It's Buster.
And yes, I know his name is Bester, but I messed up already, and once I mess up on a name, we stick with it, everyone. Hey, John.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so that was a recorded message, not live, correct?
No, that was a live conversation.
Oh, so she was sassy to his face.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
And so Garrett Boldy, he makes a comment like, "Oh, every time he comes, it's the same old thing. That there's some danger to Babylon 5 in the universe." He thinks we're gonna fall for that line, and then we do a hard cut to this guy going absolute nuts and ripping out wires. He's the reason my audio wasn't working. It was his fault. He ripped out my wires. And
Cut
beat
the
a
wrong
man.
wires, huh?
Yeah. And clearly was beating that poor man to death. So that's interesting. Last time we saw a guy like that, he was being possessed, sort of, his life energy being drained by the demon-like creature that was aligned with the shadow spiders. Ace Murdoch. Mad Dog.
Yes, but is this the same situation?
Don't know yet. Yes, Murdoch. I combined the characters, I know.
We know
he wasn't violent, but he was mentally unstable in a dramatic fashion. And I'm not sure if you saw
a couple
that.
episodes ago, you were wondering when we would see Buster again.
I was.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if you saw that, but there's a typo in the credits.
Oh?
Yeah. They listed someone as Delin instead of Dolores.
Oh, yeah, I know. They never fixed that. I don't know why.
Weird.
Dust to dust.
And Mercer's talking about something called Farpoint and Encounter. I'm not familiar with that episode. Do you mean Encounter at Farpoint?
That's a common misinterpretation of the title. It's actually Farpoint Encounter.
Yeah, I know. I'm the one who got it wrong. So they're giving a quick refresh for those who would have, not seen anything from Buster for a long time and not be aware of his character was, or maybe not remember the finer details of what he does. But he's talking about how they hunt down rogue telepaths.
Hey, you got it.
And the last time we saw Buster, Talia was still with us. Yes, Talia. And
You're doing pretty well tonight.
Hit and miss. So she was still with us, and they banded together all the rogue telepaths and showed him a false vision of him and Talia killing all the telepaths there. So even though Buster was fairly convinced that it was a fake vision, he knew that he couldn't press. Hey, it's Veer!
It's Veer!
He knew that he couldn't press the issue without tipping his own hand, and so he let it lie. And so Veer, again, recap time. The last time we saw him, Londo was sending him away to be a representative on the Mbari homeworld. And Texas is saying the writing on that robe says aloha?
It does. Yes. They asked JMS about putting lettering on there, the Mimbari lettering. And he said, yeah, go ahead. And so they wrote aloha and Mimbari.
That's great. And so Londo says, hey, it's great that you got this robe of welcoming. Wear it when you're dead. When you're here, you're Centauri. And speaking of things you may have forgotten about, well, not you, Jeff, but you, the person out there watching this, the good doctor, Franklin, he is going through STEM issues, where he's abusing the STEM packs, and he's been getting a little bit grumpy with people. In fact, it's really a pretty good episode. I mean, if you remember the episodes of this time, they all had kind of that anti-drug episode. The most famous, infamous one, really, that I recall being Tasha Yar's talk with Wesley.
That was horrible.
I don't understand, Tasha. Why would people do that? But they all had an episode like that. On this very special episode of Growing Pains. Michael Seaver finds drugs and his son's...
telling everyone to leave.
So they had an episode like that where it was actually very well done, where Garibaldi had a confrontation with Franklin.
Yep. Get some tea, Omni. Get some tea.
Now, Ivanova has an especial disdain for the Psy-Corps. And she's locking onto Buster's ship?
Yep.
And she was about to do it. She gave the order.
She did it.
Yeah. So she had everyone leave ops. And she has the defense grid lock onto his ship and tells it to fire, but Sheridan shows up just in the nick of time and says, belay the order. So what I was in the middle of saying is she has an especial concern for him because she herself is a very low-level telepath. Well, at least she considers herself to be a low-level telepath. We'll see what happens as the series progresses.
Yeah, she's like a P0.5 or something.
And so she's quite concerned that if he comes aboard the station, they'll all be revealed. And so Buster, he said, "What on earth happened out there? I was stranded, I was cut off from communication, and suddenly I was hit by a sense of great personal danger." Which, yes, the station locking its weapons onto you would definitely be dangerous. Mm.
Aha.
So kind of a
See you
gutsy
later,
move.
Mercer.
Oh, have fun cleaning. So kind of a gutsy move. He hired or brought on some Minbari associates to create a mind damping field, basically, for each person there. So each person has an Minbari that sticks to his side and shields that individual's thoughts so that Buster can't read his thoughts. And he says, here's what's going on. I don't trust you, and frankly, your attitude stinks. And he's specifically calling him out for another thing that happened in the past.
Talia.
Talia, being an undercover agent, which was another fantastic episode.
Did you hear the word he
I did
partially
not.
said?
What did he call him?
Dissect.
Hmm?
Dissect.
No, what's that mean?
Dissection. Or dissection.
Why would Garibaldi be a dissection?
No. The Psychor. Dissecting Talia.
Hmm. Oh, that's what they did to her?
Well,
But that's what he's saying they did.
Yeah.
That's what he just said they did.
And he cut himself off before he said the full word.
And so the Sheridan is threatening to do a press conference and reveal everything. And Buster is saying, "You wouldn't do that. We'd both lose." And Buster's saying, "You choose not to trust me? Well, that's sad." He says, "But unlike the rest of you, I have no intention of letting that get in the way of my work." And so he's letting them use an aerosol paint gun, hypospray, to, I believe this is to create a medical-induced dampening effect of his abilities.
Yeah. What they use on telepaths that don't want to be part of the core. It's the same medication. Turns off their abilities.
So he's saying,
he's there to save their butts.
Next time, show a little gratitude. But he says that it takes 3 hours for the drug to take effect. So he's going to leave, and hopefully when he comes back, they'll be more calm and less hysterical. Okay, so the Drazi here are saying that the Centauri have invaded their space. And that they have asked the Minbari to be here because the only time Centauri speak is to lie. And so they're claiming that they told them at the very beginning of all this that they wanted a buffer zone, and if only they had listened, we could have avoided such needless bloodshed. And that's all they want, a buffer zone. And so he's saying that the buffer zone they wanted is unacceptable, and the Centauri are, oh, we're victims here. You know, if you had just listened to us and done this in the beginning, the area we needed would have been small, but this has cost lives and resources, so now we need a bigger buffer zone. And so it seems like a bad faith offer.
And Londo just threatened them. Did you catch that?
Mm-mm.
Bomb their homeworld like they did the Narn homeworld.
Ooh. Which was with the orbital bombardment.
The asteroids. Yeah.
And so Veer he's saying, hey, you know, your homeworld is so wonderful, and you know, it's a very healing time. Maybe Londo should go there. And Lanier points out that a corruption of the soul cannot be cured by moving the body. And Veer, he says, well, I believe his line was something to the effect of, Londo has good in him and one day he'll surprise you. Right, so Buster's explaining that there's a technology that basically lets you experience someone's life, an entire life, every touch, every feeling, every sensation, in a matter of minutes.
It's a drug.
A drug. And it's highly addictive, but for a telepath, it's especially destructive. And the drug is called dust. There we go. Yeah, Joel, don't do dust, kids. And I'm pretty sure Buster just was gently letting them know that he was well aware of them smuggling weapons. Well, not smuggling through Babylon 5, but the fact that they've supported Jakar to smuggle weapons. And so we've seen this guy before, I think. The arms dealer.
Have we?
Isn't he the guy we saw at the beginning of the season who was saying that the cost of arms have gone up and that credit is no good from the Narn?
I didn't think it was the same person, but it might be.
Well, we all know.
Text is saying no.
Okay.
Josh says no, it's not him.
Okay.
Thank you for confirming, guys.
Okay, so he's explaining how the dust works and how useful it would be for the Narn to be able to use it and then know everything they need to about their enemies, their plans, their troop placements. But there's some caveats. Each time you use it, it requires more to get the same effect. So it's a drug that you build up immediate resistance to. And second, though the chemical makeup works on every non-human species, almost every non-human species, there's been no non-telepath out there. And so the effects that it would have on a Narn is extremely questionable. Would it work? Would something crazy happen? We just don't know.
I love in this episode how they team these two up.
Yeah, Joel, there's one way to find out. And so, they got the straight man and the comic man duo here. And so Buster is saying, okay, I get it. You don't like me any more than Ivanova or the captain likes me, but let's get one thing straight. My blood is the same color as yours. And that his primary concern is threats to the human race. He says, and whether you like us or not, we may be all that stands between you and danger for the human race. And John, I was thinking the same thing, that they're putting a lot of trust in this anti-telepathy drug. And something tells me
it works.
Yeah, something tells me Jakar took the drug.
Why would you think that? Can't be his eye color. It's all black now.
Or his room with its disheveled state.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out how you know.
I pick up on small things sometimes. I may miss the big things, but the little things I really zoom in on. Like he's walking funny.
Now that you mention it, maybe he is.
So, the colors, man. I didn't entirely catch their pseudoscience technobabble for why the dust works and why it lets you know everything about a person in a matter of minutes.
It lets you invade their thoughts or mind, rip thoughts and memories away from whomever you want to subject it to.
So it basically makes a non-telepathic person a very powerful telepath.
At least temporarily.
And Josh is saying that the arms dealer was only in the episode that you were in, the one with Sebastian.
Ooh, what?
And so Garibaldi and Buster are trying to do a shakedown on this guy, who's kind of the seems like the quirk of the episode. And so Buster, the guy makes a strong denouncement of knowing anything, and Buster goes, he's lying. Now, of course, we know that he has no telepathic powers, in theory. What did he say? The guy says, you need to stay out of my head. And Buster responds with, well, sometimes, things just wash over me, but strike that from the record, Mr. Garibaldi. He's absolutely correct. I'm not allowed to do that.
He has rights.
And so kind of Quark mindset. He's saying that he does stuff that doesn't cause too much trouble. Uh, but dust is nothing but trouble, so he doesn't do anything with it. Ooh.
Mm.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking of someone else anyway. It doesn't matter. I was thinking Morgan D. Shepherd. I was one. I was 100% wrong on the name I was thinking of. They're saying. So Garibaldi
This
said,
is a good
"I thought
conversation.
I thought the sleepers meant you couldn't scan anyone." And Buster goes, "That's right." He goes, "How do you know he was lying?" I assumed he was lying about something. He says, "Well, the badge and the uniform do have some advantages." Garibaldi goes, "What, like intimidation?" He's, exactly. And Walter Koenig is so short next to Garibaldi.
He's so good in the role.
So is Veer making a special guest appearance, or did his role on the other TV series end so he can come back to Babylon 5?
Yeah, the other series wasn't picked up, or they did a pilot, and that's about it. So he's back on the show on B5.
I'm glad it worked out for him to come back. That was such a nice diss.
Well, just, you're right. Not quite yet, but
Okay, so Veer, he wrote up a report on the Mbari, and Londo points. It says he finishes and goes, "I haven't seen a document filled with this much naivete since some Centauri senator gave a speech before the council, and we were going to have him sterilized, but we realized that his wife was so and so, and it was a pointless thing." And Jakar's here, and I think he's smiling.
Yeah,
Kind of looks like a smile.
Yeah, he's very happy to be there.
Yeah. He gave Veer a very warm, one-handed hug.
Yeah.
But then Londo had some critiques against the Mbari, talking about how all their structures were old, indicated stagnation, basically.
I love this line coming up.
He said something to the tune of wanting to crack Buster like a pinata, and Buster goes, "So you think of me as something bright and cheerful, filled with toys for children that makes them happy? Thank you." So they got some sonar stuff, as a non-lethal takedown. That's nice. I've seen that somewhere else in Sci-Fi. Not just Iron Man. They had something similar to that. It was like the exact same idea, where you put in a special noise canceling thing, and then you'd push a button, and it'd create a high-pitched sonic attack that incapacitated everyone else.
Josh, not really.
Yeah, not a thing. I had a feeling I was batting a 0 on that one. But the episode before, I almost got 100% right, so the law of averages insisted I get nothing on this one. And is Londo weeping on the floor, whimpering. And he's saying, Jakar, I can see that you're really quite upset. And not yourself.
This is the best part of the episode. I agree with Melphus.
So Jakar is doing a mind meld.
In a sense.
So we're getting a flashback. How did Londo end up in this position? And the answer is no one else wanted it. The first 4 stations were destroyed or lost, and this is not a position of honor. And so this was not a good assignment for Londo. This was almost a punishment. Or at the very least, it just shows how little authority Londo has here. At least at the beginning of the series. And Jakar is saying, who would have thought it? The great and powerful Londo Mollari got his job because no one else was stupid enough to take it. And he's saying, how does it feel, Mollari? How does it feel to be the victim? To be helpless? Does it make you understand how we feel? Okay, so in case you don't know this, I haven't seen this before. I haven't seen any of Babylon 5 before I watch it fresh each week. I'm gonna make a prediction mid-stream here that I think that we're going to see that Londo is both guilty and has regret for this. I think when this comes out, Jakar is actually going to have a certain level of sympathy that he's not expecting. Yeah, Joel, I predict Jakar will be upset. Yeah, that's how we're going to start. So obviously he's going to be super mad the whole way through here, and there's going to be something that I suspect we haven't seen yet. And when we get to that moment, I think Jakar is going to have some unexpected sympathy for him. And he's saying this is enough. And now suddenly he's seeing his dad. He's saying, it's too late for me, Jakar, but it's not too late for you. And his dad is telling him to honor his name. I feel like I should know this guy that's talking to him right now. The captain that Jakar tried to get to stand down but wouldn't.
No. We think this is Jaquan.
Oh, as in the Book of Jaquan?
Mm-hmm.
So this individual is saying that uh, that if all we do is pursue death, it's just going to perpetuate the cycle of death. And he's saying, if we are dying people, then let's die with honor. Am I saying that all the Narn look the same? Yes. But I also admit that most everyone looks the same to me. I'm largely face blind. And he was reminding Jakar that the reason he's basically lost his way is he's let the Centauri distract him from his true purpose. And stop now. The universe doesn't offer many second chances. And Lando's saying, "Why now? Where have you been?" And he's saying, "I've always been here." And then we see the angel. We've seen that guy before. The question is...
He also said, "I've always been here."
Which is the same thing he said to Sheridan. Right? Yeah, Sheridan.
Wait for it.
So the question is, was that actually a true vision of his religious leader, or was that Kosh intervening? Okay, that was quickly answered. Didn't have to wait long on that one.
Yes, Omni. The answer is yes.
So my prediction wasn't quite correct. It wasn't that he saw something in Lando's memories directly that got him to have sympathy. But he did end with a definite change perspective here. And Robert's giving a Vorlon blink over there. And so Jakar is before tribunal, and he's making no desire, like no counsel. And it seems like he is accepting it. He's saying, "I'm guilty." And so Sheridan is pointing out that while he was under the influence of Dush, Jakar was not acting rationally. And the judge is kind of got a point here. She's saying that if Jakar had grabbed the first person he had stumbled on, that she would believe that Sheridan has a point. But instead, he specifically targeted Londo, which to her states or indicates that he was somewhat in control of his faculties. That's not much of a punishment, but okay.
Doesn't seem like it. But she did say no less than, which doesn't mean it would be 60. It might be more.
It's true. And so Londo offers the Book of Jaquan, which is that something Jakar gave to Londo previously? I said Londo. I meant Garibaldi.
Yes. He woke him up in the middle of the night and told him to read the book.
And so Jakar, he says, no, I don't need this. I've become somewhat closer to the source. Oh. And Londo says, it's good to have you here again, Veer. How long can you stay? Another day or two? And he says, no, I have to leave tonight. Centaur wants me back on the homeworld for some special ceremony. Or no, Imbar. The Imbari want him back for a special ceremony. And yeah, Omni, it does look like he's drinking a grasshopper. And so Garibaldi is saying, I hate to rush you off the station, but the doc says that the medicine's going to wear off any moment now, basically. Oh.
That shows the drug worked.
Yeah.
She couldn't contact him.
And we find out that he's the one who developed, or the Psychor is the one that developed it.
Yeah, they developed the dust. And of course, that is actually Walter Koenig's wife.
Oh. Oh, have we seen her?
Yeah, she was in Erase Through Dark Places as well.
That's where they revealed the name of their thing was like Section 13 or... And so he's thinking about what Kosh said to him, that some of us must be sacrificed if all of us are to be saved.
Notice the music changed here.
It matches the intro music.
It does, yeah.
So I'll let that run on.
First episode of the third season that they changed the end music.
So, thoughts about this episode, Jeff?
Very powerful. I think Jakar has a lot to think about, as we saw at the end of this episode. Sitting there in confinement for at least 60 days, I think this is a profound moment for him. And I think we're going to see him change.
And kind of toward the beginning of the series, they gave a little a wink and a nod thing to us that each episode is about 7 days from the previous date.
Yeah, roughly.
So we're at episode...
I mean, it doesn't strictly follow that, but yeah.
Yeah. So we're at episode 6, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
So they're talking about it should be 7 to 8 weeks that he should be in prison if they follow that very strictly. That each episode was around 7 days for the next. He should be in prison for 7 episodes, really.
At least.
Yeah. So I'm curious to see if they're going to keep him in prison for the next 7 episodes, or if they're going to, maybe 3-4 episodes have him in prison and then have something come up where, okay, you've been here 60 days, or here's extenuating circumstances. We're going to let you out. We'll see.
Texas says, and something else jumps entirely out of at your face. There's more coming here and there. I like pretty boxes. Oh, I missed his prior statement. So this is what JMS had to say about it. Dust to Dust is what I call one of my pretty box episodes. I set down the pretty box in front of you, and you think you know what it is. Then something else entirely jumps out of it at your face. There's more coming here and there. He likes pretty boxes. Omni says maybe he gets an ankle bracelet.
Oh, yeah. I could see that.
I don't know about that because were they going to confine him to his quarters? Maybe, I don't know.
So,
I want to ask you a question here.
Yes.
What do you think about Kosh in this episode? I mean,
Okay.
He was barely in it, but
Pretty significant moment.
Yeah, you think?
First of all, okay. Couple thoughts here. First, his comment at the very end about I've always been here. It has a bit of a new light to it with what we know of what Kosh has done behind the scenes with the alien races. And the idea that the Vorlons have literally always been here influencing humanoid development for a specific purpose is definitely something to think about. That they've been shaping things, that they've always been here shaping the course of human events. But also the comment that he makes at the end that some must be sacrificed for all to survive. I think that has a bit of a sinister undertone to it, almost in the idea that I forget what they called the last of the old ones, was it, or the first ones?
The first ones, yeah.
It's almost that these first one people, and maybe the shadow people too, are specifically grooming and raising up lower races to use as sacrificial pawns between one another, such that, and I've talked about this briefly before, but the idea that maybe Kosh himself maybe there is no good guy between the shadow people and the first ones. Maybe both of them are equally deplorable in that they are abusing lower races for their own personal gains, basically brainwashing them such that they'll do what they want them to do, which ideally is the death of their enemies. Just have a bunch of cannon fodder. So, I don't know. It had a very sinister thing to me. I don't think it was meant to be sinister, but to me, it had a very sinister kind of overtone to it. That in the midst of Jakar feeling like he's had this spiritual epiphany, that he's seen the light, that he's grown closer to this prophet of his, and it turning out that it's really Kosh, and Kosh is just manipulating him and brainwashing him to have him be I can't say the word I want to say on YouTube, to have him be a self-destructive zealot.
Okay. Can I throw something out?
Oh, yes, please.
For food for thought, let's say. Earlier in the series, Kosh stated that the Centauri and the Narn are both dying people and essentially let them die. Here he seems to be saying something else. He's appealing to Jakar to change the path of the Narn and maybe the path of everyone. Because he's trying to save the Narn. He's trying to save Jakar and use Jakar in that way to save his own people.
I'll have to re-listen to it.
Maybe his thinking process is changing. Maybe his course of what his plans are now different than they were at the beginning of the series. Maybe he's changing.
Maybe. But I will have to listen to it again because I remember him saying that line about our dying race in his speech to Jakar. But then he said something about if they are a dying race, then let us die in such a way that will be remembered, basically. Like if all that happens is that the Narn and the Centauri wipe each other out, no one's really going to remember you. You'll just be another dead race among the stars. Right. So if we're going to die, if the Narn people are going to die, let's die such that people remember us fondly.
Josh says, Professor, something happens that is making Kosh change his mind. What is that, Kosh? Josh. Kosh.
Kosh.
Kosh, Josh. Kosh.
You're hanging out with me too much.
Kosh. Yeah, I am.
Other thoughts about the
Josh?
episode,
I'm not asking you to answer that. By the way,
yeah, no spoilers.
I'm just throwing that out. No spoilers.
But yeah, other thoughts, Jeff?
Loved having Buster back. And his character just continues to grow. This is the character I think of for Walter Koenig. It's not Chekhov, although I liked him as Chekhov, but Chekhov's character is not very deep. You can see Bester's depth here, and you could see that Walter loves to play him. I mean, it's just a perfect fit for him to play Buster or Bester, whatever you want to call him. Mm-hmm. And you could see the growing friction between him and Garibaldi or Garibaldi. I just love seeing this develop. It's one of the things I look for as the series goes on. Every time I rewatch it, I think I've seen it now like 4 or 5 times. I love this series.
How tall is Walter Koenig?
I don't know.
I gotta look this up. Okay, it says he's 5'6".
Okay, a little shorter than me.
That means that the actor who played Garibaldi has got to be
I bet he was
a solid 6 feet. A little over 6 foot. What's his name?
His name, oh yeah, you would ask me. Just flew out of my head.
What's the actor's name?
Jerry Doyle.
Jerry Doyle. Jimmy Doyle?
No, it's Jerry. He's 6'2". According to.
Yeah. So 8 inch. Yeah. That definitely. So I was really curious if in this episode they were exaggerating the height, or if they really had that much of a height difference. And yeah, they just had that much of a height difference between the two actors. Because I could see them intentionally doing this to show how Buster's character was perceived as being powerless through this episode. So they had him be humorous and quippy, and whenever they had shots side by side, they always made sure to have him down on a lower plane, so that he was always slightly, like, even when they were crouched down, they could have had him crouched so that, they're kind of equal in height. But the way they were doing their shots, I wonder if they were really showing how, in this moment, Garibaldi felt that he had the upper hand, that he had the power over Bester because Bester's mind was nullified. Or he had taken the sleepers. So yeah, I'm curious. Apparently he's just that short, and it was just a happy coincidence.
Yeah, well, originally Walter Koenig wasn't going to play this role. He was going to play a smaller role in one episode of season 1, but because he had health issues, he had a heart problem, he couldn't play that role, and then they gave him Bester.
I didn't realize he had any heart problems.
Yeah, he did. No, he was going to be, what was it? What was the name of the character? No, it was from the episode where the two guys, Night 2. Thank you.
And yes, Texas, I have heard of his take on why Khan remembers Chekhov. We don't see Chekhov in the episode. Correct me if I'm wrong here, but I believe his take is that Chekhov was in the bathroom anytime.
Well, I watched a review of I, Mud recently, and something stuck out at me during the review. He knew of Harry Mudd, and Harry Mudd was in one of the very early season 1 episodes. I, Mud was in season 2.
Oh, Chekhov knew of Mudd.
Yeah, Chekhov knew about Harry Mudd. So if he knew about Harry Mudd, he was on the ship. He was on the Enterprise.
John, I never forget the face of someone who makes me wait for the bathroom. You, I remember.
He may not have been a bridge officer at the time, or we didn't see him as a bridge officer yet. Maybe he was. We just didn't see him. But he was on the Enterprise.
All right. I'm willing to give them a little slack there. I'll call them out for the inconsistency, but all right. There's an in-universe plausibility for why it could work.
Okay.
Yeah, he was on lower deck duty. Well, I did enjoy the episode. It was interesting to see G'Kar kind of have an eat his cake and have it too moment, where he got to have his revenge on Londo, and at the same time choose not to go through with it for a reason to him that was satisfying. And just
I
that
think he was kind of stopped.
Yeah, Kosh stopped him.
Yeah, Kosh stopped him. I think he would have gone through it. He would have killed Londo.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Ripping all of his memories. And he knows of Mr. Morden now, or Chief Rod Sterling.
He does.
Now, I wonder if he remembers Chief Rod Sterling now, because he did have a brief meeting with him when Rod Sterling was going around all the ambassadors asking, "What do you want?"
And it's interesting
Never
that
asked that question.
That Rod Sterling went for Londo instead of G'Kar. And I guess
G'Kar wasn't ambitious enough.
Yeah.
He just wanted revenge on the Centauri, and that his people would be okay.
Whereas Londo, he said, I want the Centauri to come back to the power they had, and I want to see every last Narn wiped out the universe. It's something like that. Like, he was very, very explicit in what he desired.
Yeah, he wanted the Centauri to be a power again. And to conquer. That's exactly what the Shadows spiders wanted.
I also like that this episode we get to see G'Kar kind of return to his religious nature. That we've seen this pop up a couple times now, where he was concerned about the people of the Narns on the station not being able to observe this ritual at the right time because something had been happening.
Right. And then, all the way back to season 1.
Yeah. And that's when the other MS, I'm drawing a blank. The first captain, Sinclair.
Oh, yeah, okay. Sinclair. Commander Sinclair.
Yeah, that's when he pointed out that, light takes time to travel, and so based on the distance, if he hurries, technically the light from the star would be reaching here in a few minutes. And so we got to see him lead that ceremony. And really, I kind of feel like they touched on this in the episode, where him giving the Book of Jaquan to to Garibaldi
Mhm.
was him trying to close the door on his religious side.
Oh, interesting. I didn't get that take.
Well, this might be me reading too much into it, but he gives the book away, and at this point he is now distracted by everything that's going on. Because he was doing that when wasn't that the episode where he was ready to go back to the Narn homeworld and face the tribunal of his people, and he was giving away his earthly effects, and he was going to go.
I don't think it was that episode.
Was it not that one?
I don't think so.
And that's when everyone stopped him, and the protector guy that
he wanted to help. He wanted to help. He knew about the Rangers. He wanted to help in some way, and he thought, well, I'll give the book to someone. Maybe they can get perspective on it that will help the situation, because he was being turned down basically left and right with his help. He was trying to find a way to help. So
okay.
he gave the Book of Jaquan to Garibaldi, and he said, read it. He said, I can't read Narn. He said, learn.
Okay, then maybe I'm reading too much into it. I'll have to look again to see if this might be a theme, a purposeful theme, or just kind of an interesting coincidence. But it seemed almost to me that he was putting off that religious side to himself, and in this episode he was reminded to take it up again. And so you saw Garibaldi returning it to him, but he doesn't need it now. Was what he came to, and that he has more fully accepted his relationship, and that he doesn't need the memories of Jaquan. He now has a more direct access to him, at least in his own mind. We'll see how that actually plays out over the time to come. So, I mean, interesting stuff. Yeah. Now, you had said something. Do I think that Jakar will remember this? Remember seeing Malari, or excuse me, remember seeing Morgan?
Rod Serling.
Yeah, Morden. I had assumed yes. So if in the next couple episodes we find out the answer is no, I'll be surprised. I took it that he is now very much aware of how Jakar, or how Londo got the position, of how Londo made the deal with the devil, so to speak. And I feel like he has come to peace with it, and that he has his eyes set on a higher mission at this point.
I think Joel hit it on the head there. Jakar had a revelation.
Yeah. Somewhere closer to the score. That's right, Melphasis. I butchered your name. I'm sorry, Melphis.
Score or source? I thought it was source.
Source, yeah.
Closer to the source. But I think this was a very important episode in the series, as many of them are. But for this one, I think we're seeing maybe a couple of our characters starting to change, which makes it especially important.
Definitely a watershed moment for Jakar. Bester, he didn't have a big thing per se, but just that we got to see how he handles the situation. I like that he had almost a Columbo-like role the episode, where he kind of played the bumbling guy, the brightly colored and cutesy and filled with toys for the kiddies. That was the persona he was putting on through the episode. And then at the very end of the episode, excuse me, at the very end of the episode, he switches it off, and he's like, "You couldn't have been here 2 minutes earlier. Well, at least we got the dust out of the hands of the aliens, and that was a failed thing. So let's go on to the next thing." Like, just click business mode.
Makes you wonder what else the Psi Corps is doing.
Yeah. So previously, we saw that they seem to have some dealings with Mordrin. And it's interesting, like that interaction is interesting to me based on today's, because one of the few things that he says that I think was actually being genuine about is how when he rebukes Garibaldi saying that my blood is the same color as yours, he's very much of the mentality that humanity should be for humanity above all else. And that it is a us versus them, that human first, everyone else distant second, maybe even third. Maybe there is no second. Human first, human second, everyone else last, is kind of his mindset here. And so he's very much willing to take the Section 31 playbook that it doesn't. Yeah, I know. Bring up. Let me just dust that conversation off again. But it is. It's bringing up the same old. The ends justify the means, and his end is the protection of humanity and the improvement of humanity. And it doesn't matter what underhanded thing he has to do, so long as humanity preserves and endures and strengthens. And so his involvement with Morden doesn't really make sense. Like in the end game, I should say. So I could see him willing to make a temporary pact so long as he saw it being beneficial to him. But I don't see him doing things long term with him, because I feel like they are crafting him to be a very intelligent man. And that unlike Londo and the vice president, who are willing to make short-term compromises so that they could have a position of power, but not really be powerful. Like, the end result will always be that the Centauri are subservient in the galaxy. That will be the end result. And Londo's okay with that. He's like, whatever, as long as I get my power, that's all that matters. Whereas, to me, it seems like Bester's mindset is that humanity has to be the most powerful in the end. And so I can't see him really, truly teaming up with the Shadow Spiders. And so I'm very interested to see him revealing more about the relationship he has with those people. Because to me, I get the idea that he's pulling a con. You know, he's working as a double agent. Yeah, I'm friends with you, but at the same time, he's planning their downfall with every step. So yeah, interesting episode. I look forward to what happens next. That was Dust to Dust. I got 0% correct. It almost... Well, Lanier barely made an appearance in this episode.
Wow, Joel, that's quite a statement. He says, you must be thinking of a different series. I would lower my expectations for the rest of the seasons. Really low.
Really?
Well, Joel, I'll counter that because one of, if not the highest rated episode by fans, is coming up soon of the entire series. So I'm not sure where that statement's coming from, unless you're being facetious.
I do. Okay, looking at the episode names coming up, it does look like there's some fun ones. Sick Transit Veer. Hilarious pun. Play on words there. I forget the actual Latin, but the Sic Tyrannis, something with a V. But it's talking about how you should end tyranny. It's the motto of some special forces, I want to say. Point of No Return. Looking forward to that. That seems... Is that the name of this season? No, don't tell me. Don't tell me. I want to be surprised when we get there.
Okay.
But for next week, because we should be able to do this now. I mean, even if I keep limping along like this, guys, we should be able to limp along. Okay? Yeah, fingers crossed. Let's...
Hey, we made it through this one.
We made it through this one. Yes. I just gotta be careful.
It's all downhill from here, right?
Yeah, I just gotta be careful not to go too far right with my hand here, or else I'm gonna take out my microphone again. But
yeah, I don't want to do that.
Next week, Season 3, Episode 7. It is called Exogenesis. Now, exogenesis, meaning outside beginnings, the idea that life was seeded by extraterrestrial life is what I believe that is. And so with exogenesis being the name of it, I could see this either being an episode focusing on I don't think they'd come out and say it this way, but it would basically be the work that cautious people have done, the Vorlons. Yeah, Genesis is Planet Forbidden, I know. But this is exogenesis. So it could be focusing on the work the Vorlons have done, seeding life throughout the galaxy. Or maybe, if not the Vorlons directly, the first ones in general. And again, going back to what I said earlier, I do think that what we're seeing is that the first ones have seeded the universe for the purpose of raising up soldiers to fight their enemies for them. They do it under the guise of benevolence, but I think at the end of the day, they're still raising them up to fight their battles. So just something keep in my back of my mind. I got that there. The other possibility I could see, so I could see that being kind of the focus of the episode. Someone on board the station, maybe that race of monk, or not race, that group of monk people. It'd be nice to check in with them. Maybe they're starting to put some pieces together as they correlate all the different religious things. That's something they've talked about, and so they're building up this idea of exogenesis. That would be kind of the plot going on. I have no idea how they dress it up around that, because they wouldn't be able to focus on it long. That'd just be kind of the thing they keep coming back to. So there'd have to be some main other story going on. The other thing I could see it being would be coming back to the Deathwalker sort of person, where you have a mad scientist, maybe not a mad scientist, but you have a scientist person coming aboard who is performing, let's say, illegal, unsanctioned experiments on the creation of life. That they don't just want to clone things, they don't want to just create microbiological life, they actually want to create legitimate sentient life. And so that's going to raise up questions about the morality of this, and Sheridan's going to have to kind of navigate the waters, because even if it's not illegal, it's going to be highly questionable. It's going to raise a lot of concerns from the different people saying that this is abominations, that it shouldn't be allowed to go forward, but there's no law technically against it because it's never been done yet. And so we're going to have to see Sheridan navigating through that. Now, the only problem is I don't get to make two guesses. I got to commit to one.
Okay.
Otherwise that's like Gollum, making two guesses at the end, and that's cheating. So what do I actually think? Would it be the scientists or the monk people putting the things together, or would it be the scientists creating life? I'm going to go with the monk people. That's final guess here. Monk people putting the pieces together, seeing how there's these common stories that just keep appearing, and how could it possibly be that you have such common stories without there being a common creator? And then, of course, you'll have the usual responses of, oh, these are just modern motifs that come up in story writing, and it's not unique to the human experience. It's unique across all cultures, because that's life in general. So it'll be an interesting debate. That's where I'm going to land on this.
Well, I can't wait to see that episode.
Yeah. And if that's not the episode, I'm almost sad, because for once I feel like I've made a solid guess.
I like that guess.
Yeah. And yeah, we haven't heard from Brother Theo. We'll find out. Well,
K. Robert says, in summary, the monks and the technomages hold a swinging hanger.
Exactly. Hey, as long as you're trying to get a hold of first ones, we got a hold of the Tiki Torch people. Maybe they'll... I don't think this is next episode for the record. I'm just talking about in general. It would be interesting to try and get a hold of the techno mages and get them onto their side. That might really level up the power of the White Star at some point. Ooh, in fact, okay.
That's intriguing. Wow.
I'm going to throw this out here. Future guess. At some point, the White Star gets severely damaged. They're outclassed, and they need a true upgrade. I think that's when they're going to reach out to the techno mages, and they're going to get an upgrade for the White Star, because that would be awesome. There we go.
I'm typing that out.
Oh, Josh, that would be fun. I need to put on a tinfoil hat when I'm making my predictions. And yes, John, having Kang on anyone's side would be quite helpful.
Definitely.
Did they say they were leaving the galaxy?
Well, they said that they were going beyond the rim, I think.
Getting out of the game, so to speak.
Yeah.
But, well, I mean, we'll see. You never know. Well, Jeff, final closing thoughts as we round out this very interesting evening.
Well, it was fun. We made it through.
We did.
Yay! And we figured out your technical difficulties, or you did.
Now if we can do 2 in a row. 2 in a row, people.
Well, we're going to do it.
And Josh was saying that, yeah, there is a CPU, motherboard, and RAM bundle starting at $300 for a 6-core CPU. Yeah, it's all about when to buy things, when to spend money. If I can get the laptop moving along, it's smarter to not spend money you don't have to, you know.
This is true.
But we'll see what sort of deals come up here in the next couple of weeks.
We'll get you back up to 100% here.
Yeah.
Maybe we should have a fundraiser for you.
No, you guys don't need to worry about that. As long as we can keep this working, that's good enough for me.
I tried.
All right. Well, I guess with that, guys, thanks for hanging out with us, and I very much look forward to hang out with y'all next week at the Hour of Scampering. Take care.
Have a good week, everyone. See you next week.
Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to hit that like button and share it with your friends. If you haven't subscribed yet, I hope you will, and be sure to hit that bell icon to be notified of all the updates I do on this channel. If you want to support the work I'm doing here, then I hope you'll consider becoming one of my Patreons, where you'll get early access to all kinds of videos. And until the next time, may the Lord bless you and keep you. May he cause his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. Amen.